Hey, Tom, your parents sent us a box of fresh vegetables from their crops. Do you want me to make some Chinese pork dumplings for dinner? You were saying that you only wanted to eat dumplings the other day, weren't you? There's some cabbage and carrots in the box from your parents, so I can make some healthy pork dumplings with plenty of veggies.
Forget about it. I don't need any dinner. I'm going out to eat tonight.
Oh, really? Why?
What do you mean, why? Because I feel like it. I can do whatever I want, can't I?
Oh, okay. Then I can make the dumplings tomorrow evening instead. There's a lot of vegetables, so we've got to use them all up before they go bad.
Just hand the vegetables out to the neighbors or something. We won't be able to use an entire box full that quickly, and it's a waste for us to use them.
Yeah, that's true. It'll be a shame if we can't use them all by their Best By date. Then I'll take half for us and give out the other half to the families on either side of us. I think we can manage to use at least half of the box by the end of next week.
Why keep half? Just give the entire box full to the neighbors.
What? But what about our share of the vegetables? Your parents sent them for us to eat. Won't they be disappointed if they hear that we gave all of those vegetables away?
Yeah, but even if we keep them, it's not like we can put them to good use. With you cooking, they'll just transform into a disgusting bowl of yuck. Our parents would be happy if their vegetables went to someone who could actually make a proper dish out of them. We don't need any vegetables in our house.
Is my cooking really that bad?
Yeah, it's terrible. And I hate the pork dumplings you make. They're gross. I can barely ever taste the pork, and you use too much cabbage. It's just a plain vegetable dumpling. Blech.
What? You're just overreacting. I always put plenty of pork mince into the dumplings I make. There's just as much pork as there is cabbage.
Well, 50-50 isn't enough. I want at least 90% pork, 10% cabbage. Why do you always insist on including vegetables in the food you make? Do you really think it tastes good? It's just a waste of time, and you waste my time because I always have to pick the vegetables out.
I'm always trying to make dinner with a balanced diet in mind. You need to have some vegetables in your food, Tom. You're always going out to eat and often get fast food on your way home. If anything, most of the food you eat is unbalanced, unhealthy, and doesn't have any proper vegetables in it. So I just thought that it would be best if you could eat something healthy for dinner when you're at home. That's the least we can do to make sure you stay healthy.
And I'm telling you that you're wasting your time. There's no need for you to do that. The reason why your food is always so disgusting is because you do unnecessary things like that and ruin everything. Before thinking about how to make things healthy, why don't you put a little thought into actually making things taste good? Thinking about balance, nutrition, and all that stuff is for the people who have actually got basic cooking skills, which you don't have. It's too soon for you to start thinking about how to keep me healthy, so just focus on making the food I want.
I'm sorry. I really just thought that it was best for your health if I served more vegetables, but I guess that it just had the opposite effect.
Yeah. The more you try and force feed me the gross stuff you make, the more I don't want to eat any vegetables. Got it? I'd rather eat cup noodles and fast food every single day rather than eat the food you make, no matter how unhealthy it is.
But if you take in that much salt and sugar, then it really will make you sick. Shouldn't you cut down on the fast food, even a little? You mentioned that you were worried that you were gaining weight just the other day.
If you don't want me to get sick, then how about you work on your cooking skills and actually make something edible? The only reason why I feel like I have to buy ready-made meals, cup noodles, and always go out to eat in the evenings is because the food you make isn't good enough to satisfy me.
All right, I'll work on it.
Yeah, here's one piece of advice for me. Work on your seasoning. The food you make is always so bland. In order to eat a balanced diet, some fatty foods and salt is necessary, right? But the food you make never has enough flavor on it, and I get bored of it on the first bite. I can't eat a whole dish of the food you make because it's so plain. Your cooking is too extreme. All you think about is making it healthy, so the taste is completely off.
Extreme? Okay. Then I'll be careful with the dinner I make tonight.
Yeah, please. And don't take your time. While you're still working on improving your cooking skills, I can't call my friends over to have dinner, so hurry up and sort yourself out. I can't invite anyone over when you're this embarrassingly bad at cooking.
Really? You've never invited your friends over because you think I'm bad at cooking?
Yeah. What I really want to do is invite some friends over for a home party and host them with some delicious food, but we'll just become the butt of the joke if you can't prepare a decent meal. All my friends will find out how terrible a cook you are, and I'll never be able to invite them over ever again. That's why I'm delaying inviting anyone over until you finally make something I can actually eat.
Oh, I didn't know that you thought that my cooking was that bad. So that's what you've really thought of me up until now?
Why don't you try learning how to cook by attending a cooking class with a professional? Though I think that you need one-on-one tuition to be able to get your incompetence corrected. You're a woman. You should feel a little more ashamed about not being able to cook.
In this day and age, I don't think that women should feel ashamed about that. If anything, there are plenty of people, men and women, who don't know how to cook. Though I agree that it's a skill everyone should aim to have.
Even if other people don't know how to cook, I think you should really think about getting some professional help. Especially since you haven't been able to make a single thing that I think tastes half decent.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm sorry. I'll look up some cooking classes and see if there's anything I can learn.
Hey, why aren't you home? Where are you? I'm waiting for you to make me lunch.
Oh, you're already back home? Sorry, I've got a cooking class today, so I won't be back until 5. I thought I told you.
You're still attending that class? What's the point?
Yeah, of course I am. I want to improve my cooking skills and make something you think is delicious. I think I've gotten a lot better since I started. I've started making some pretty high-level dishes recently, and we're currently working on dishes that need a longer preparation time and more instructions. Today we made a roast beef, and I was a little worried it might come out dry, but the instructor told me that it was really good. She said that it was the right amount of juicy and tender.
And you took her seriously? She's just kissing your ass so you don't get upset. You're paying her to teach you how to cook. In other words, you're the customer. She's just worried that she'll lose her money if you get upset that you're not getting praised enough, or if you feel that she's being too strict with you.
That's not true. I had a bite myself, but I think it came out really well too.
Am I supposed to trust your sense of taste? No way. I've never eaten anything you made and thought that it tasted good. Not once. That's not going to change after a few weeks of lessons.
That's because you're a picky eater, Tom.
What? Me? A picky eater? You're going to blame me for not being able to make the food I like?
I'm not blaming you for anything, but it's true that you prefer to eat things that have a higher salt and sugar content. Like fast foods, cup noodles, and fizzy drinks. You refuse to eat anything else. You don't even try and take a bite of anything I prepare for you. The only stuff you want to eat is stuff that's bad for you. To be honest, I don't know what I can make for you that you'll actually like.
You really think that I only eat cup noodles because I'm a picky eater? It's the other way around, dumbass. I had no choice but to fill myself up with cup noodles and fast food because you can't make anything that tastes good. It's your fault that I'm eating like this.
But I've improved these past couple of weeks, haven't I? I've learned a lot from my cooking class, about seasoning too. That's what you had an issue with, so I asked the instructor for some advice after lessons. And we don't just learn how to cook, we get to learn a lot about chemical reactions and things.
Huh? You really think that you've gotten better? How? If anything, you just started making fancier looking dishes with more ingredients. So the grocery shopping costs more, but it doesn't taste any different. You're not getting any better at cooking, so you're just wasting our money on the groceries in those cooking classes.
Why do you have such a problem with my cooking? I've been working on making things with a richer, stronger flavoring, just like you asked. I've been doing my best not to decrease the amount of fat, too.
Yeah, but you're still making things with a weird twist to them. What was that lump you made the other day? A tofu burger? And soybean patty?
I made those because it's much healthier to make them with tofu and soybean pulp than with just meat alone. I still included beef and pork mince in the burger, didn't I? 70% of the tofu burger was meat, so that it wouldn't affect the taste so much. I don't think the tofu flavor was that strong.
It was strong enough for me to taste it. I thought I told you to quit with the weird attempts to keep things healthy. I don't need the tofu or the soybean pulp. Stop messing around and just use the original classic burger recipe.
I'm not telling you to eat a 100% healthy diet. I'm just worried because your doctor warned you to stop eating so unhealthily last month. Or have you already forgotten about that? You were worried about your weight, but you haven't made any changes to improve your own diet. You obviously expect me to do something, but complain when I make an effort with my cooking. You can eat whatever you want for breakfast and lunch, but I just think that you should have something healthy for dinner, especially because it's the last meal before you go to bed.
I've had enough of you lecturing me about my health. Besides, you're wrong about me not doing anything to improve. I've started getting off the train one station earlier in the mornings on the way to work. You may think I'm not doing anything, but I'm making an effort where you're not looking. I'm walking a lot more than I did last month too. That's why you don't have to do anything to change what I eat, and I'm not going to be forced to eat the stuff you make.
You really think that getting off one station earlier and walking that distance to the office will change anything?
Shut up already. Your bad cooking and my health have nothing to do with each other. You haven't gotten better at cooking, and you've just gotten more annoying. It's a waste of money, so quit those cooking classes. You're wasting my money.
But you say that. I've been finding time on my days off to go to cooking class because you said that you wanted me to improve.
Well, it's obvious now that no matter how many lessons you take, you're never getting better, so just give up. And it's not just the cooking you need to improve on. You can't even get all the other chores done properly. There's so much you're bad at that it makes me want to ask what you do.
What?
The laundry always comes back with creases, and you're always cutting corners with the cleaning. And you're a terrible cook. There's not one single chore you can get done properly.
I work full-time too, you know. It's hard to get everything done exactly the way you want it, and if you're going to complain that much, then why don't you help?
So you can't juggle work and the chores. Why is that my problem? I bet you can't even get anything done properly at work, can you? You're probably just in the way at your office, so why don't you just resign and focus on the chores?
Of course I can get my work done. I don't want you making assumptions about how efficiently I work at the office just because you don't like my cooking.
Hey, kitchen wrecker. Are you being serious? I thought I told you not to cook. What's all this trash that you had lined up on the kitchen counter?
Trash? Are you really calling the food I spent all day preparing trash? Why do you have to talk about my cooking like that?
So what if I call it trash? I've already thrown it all out, along with all the other trash. You wasted some perfectly good ingredients, Jennifer.
What? You threw everything out? The dinner I made for tonight? Seriously, what's wrong with you?
You're not even good at cooking. Why would you waste ingredients on making so many dishes tonight? Were you trying to make me sick or something?
Do you remember what day it is today?
Today? No, what's so special about today?
It's our anniversary, Tom.
Oh, yeah. Now you say that. I completely forgot.
I can't believe you. I worked so hard to prepare a special dinner for us just for tonight. I had everything out on the counter because the only thing left was to bake and roast everything. Why would you throw everything out?
I told you, stop wasting time, money, and ingredients on cooking when you can't make anything worth eating. I'm going out tonight. I'm going out to eat tonight. I've had enough of you and your cooking. If you can't do any of the chores properly, then resign and become a full-time housewife.
Are you really sure that it's my cooking that's the problem? I'm pretty sure that it's your tongue that's messed up.
What? What the hell did you just say? Don't blame me for your incompetence.
But you didn't have to throw everything out. I wanted to see how much I've improved since I started my cooking classes and made all of my best dishes. There were some things that I started marinating last night. It took me a long time to get everything ready, so why would you do that?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that you wasted your time and our money. And if you really wanted me to enjoy our anniversary dinner, you should have gone out and bought something for us to eat from that supermarket. That would have been a lot better than trying to make me eat all this crap. I don't want to eat anything you make anymore because I know that it's going to taste bad.
You haven't even eaten anything yet. You threw everything away before you even gave me a chance. I wanted you to have a taste and tell me what you thought. I was looking forward to hearing your opinion.
I don't have to eat your cooking to know how bad it is. How many years do you think I've been forced to eat your disgusting meals? It's because you're not focusing on the chores, so hurry up and resign.
So that's what you think? Fine. Don't come crying to me later on.
What's the big deal? Nothing will change just because you resign from your job. If anything, your colleagues will probably be relieved to be rid of you. Hey, what the hell is this?
What, the bowl on the table? That's your dinner. I got it ready just for you.
There's nothing but cabbage. And it's raw. How do you expect me to eat this?
Yeah, and is there a problem?
Are you seriously telling me that this is my dinner? What the hell's wrong with you? I'm not a rabbit. Quit screwing around.
Nothing will come of complaining, Tom. That's all we have. Now that I've stopped working, this is all we can afford. You'll have to be patient with just eating cabbage for a while.
You're being ridiculous. What about the money I'm earning?
You really think that your salary's enough? The money you earn all disappears on the card payments.
You're joking. There's no way that it could all disappear that quickly.
You may not like it, but it's the truth, Tom. It all got swallowed up by the payments you owe to the card company from overspending on eating out and on paying back the scholarship. Up until now, we've been paying for the utility bills and the groceries from my salary.
How can you afford to pay for the bills and the groceries with your tiny income? You earn $1,000 less than I do.
Well, let me give you an update. I'm currently earning way more than you are. Do you mind not looking down on me like that?
What? That's impossible. How could you be earning more than I am?
I actually got a promotion and a few pay raises after we got married. I just didn't tell you. I thought that it would bother you if I was earning more than you do, so I kept quiet. I've known you for long enough to know how proud you are and how it would hurt that pride if I told you that you're not the breadwinner anymore. I didn't want you to pull a tantrum just because I started earning more than you.
You're lying.
Anyway, we don't have enough money to pay for groceries because you told me to resign. From now on, you'll just have to bear with eating either raw cabbage or cabbage soup. You get 1 cabbage for dinner and 1 cabbage to eat for both breakfast and lunch.
How the hell am I supposed to live on cabbage? Can you even eat cabbage raw? Are you supposed to fry it or something first?
Ugh, this is why picky eaters are so annoying. Cabbage is edible raw, and even if it's not that appetizing, you don't have a choice. We don't have the money to buy anything else. That's all you get. If you don't want to starve, you'll just have to grit your teeth and bear with it.
Are you telling the truth? Can we really only afford cabbage? What about bread or rice or spaghetti?
We used up the last of the rice last night. Oh, but we should still have some spices if you take a look at the spice rack. You can sprinkle whatever spice or herb you want on the cabbage and eat it the way you want.
This can't be healthy. I'm going to end up with malnutrition. I doubt it's got all the nutrients a grown adult needs.
But it's better than eating nothing, isn't it? It's either cabbage or nothing. If you don't like it, don't eat it. It's up to you. I'm not going to force you to eat something you don't want anymore. But don't blame me for what happens when you refuse to eat.
Hey, I feel like I'm going to go crazy from how hungry I am. I've been drinking water whenever I feel hungry to make the hunger go away, but it's not enough. I can't take it anymore. Please, Jennifer. You've got to do something.
Oh, really? What a shame. Then how about you have dinner early?
But it's just another cabbage again, isn't it? I want something else. I'm sick of cabbage. I'm sick of smelling cabbage. I'm sick of looking at cabbage. I'm so hungry that I'm starting to feel sick too.
Are you sure you don't want to have dinner? I've prepared 2 whole cabbages for you to eat tonight. I think you'll be full when you're done with eating them.
I told you I don't want to eat any more cabbage. I don't even want to look at it. I think I'm going crazy. And where on earth are you? You're never here when I get home from work. I haven't seen you in days. What have you been doing every night?
Me? I'm actually at your parents' house.
My parents' house? What for?
Your mom was nice enough to invite me over for dinner.
What? You're having dinner with my parents? How is that fair? Why do you get to eat a proper dinner with them while I have to eat a cabbage?
Your mom's fried chicken is the best. I have got to get her to teach me her recipe. She says that she's going to give me all the leftovers to take home, so I'll have something to eat for breakfast and for lunch tomorrow, too. I've been coming over to eat a few times, so I've learned a lot of cooking hints from your mom this past week.
What? You left me to eat cabbages and practically starve, while you go and get pampered by my mom and eat her special fried chicken? I want to go and eat dinner with my parents, too. I'm headed straight over.
This is a message from your mom and dad. They said, "We don't have any food to give you, so don't you dare turn up on our doorstep."
What? Why not? I'm their son. How come you're welcome to eat with them and I'm not? You're just their daughter-in-law. Why do you get special treatment?
Because I told your mom everything you did and said to me. I went and asked for her advice after the first time you told me to resign from being a terrible wife. And what do you think your family said when they heard how you've been treating me? They assured me that I wasn't in the wrong and that it was all because of how picky an eater you are. They told me that it was all your own fault. Your mom was especially angry when she heard how you were talking down to me about being incapable of doing the chores and balancing work. Probably because she understands more than anyone else how difficult it is to stay on top of the chores, especially when juggling work and, in her case, raising a child.
So she doesn't care about me starving to death anymore?
And your dad was laughing that cabbage should be more than enough as punishment for a dumbass like you. Your grandpa, grandma, and your little sister are all here too. But unfortunately for you, they're all on my side and they agree that you're completely in the wrong. You're the one that told me to resign without thinking about the consequences, so it's your own fault. You pretty much asked for this, Tom.
Yeah, but how was I supposed to know that it would turn out like this? That I would be forced to live on cabbages? I didn't even know about your pay raise. Could I have known without you telling me?
Regardless of that, this might be a good choice for you to fix your pickiness and start eating healthily. Up until now, you've been acting like a spoiled child when it comes to food, but now that you're finally eating your greens, you've taken one more step towards becoming an adult. Even though it's far too late for you to be growing up after all these years.
Please, I'm really hungry. Can you ask them to let me have one proper meal? I won't ever say that I don't want to eat this or that. I won't refuse to eat the food you give me. I won't complain anymore, I promise.
So you were aware that you were complaining unnecessarily? Now that I've got the chance, I'm going to make one thing very clear. My cooking isn't bad at all. At first I doubted my own skills, but after attending cooking class and having a professional taste my cooking, I realized that it wasn't me after all. It's all because you're a picky eater.
I'm sorry that I said that you're a bad cook. I really won't complain anymore. I don't care what you give me. I'd happily eat it over having to eat one more head of cabbage.
Too bad I'm never cooking for you ever again. The reason why you only have cabbage to eat right now is because it's karma for everything you've said to me. It's also karma for wasting the food I made on our anniversary by throwing it all in the trash. It's also punishment for trampling on the effort and consideration I put into making that dinner.
I know, I'm sorry. I knew that you were just thinking about my health, but I was too stupid to just be honest and accept it. I was really being childish by complaining and expecting you to answer to all my complaints. I'm sorry. And no matter how much I complained, you did everything you could to try and meet me halfway. By going to cooking class and making the food you make as healthy as possible. But I was super insensitive and acted like a total asshole. I'm really sorry.
It's too late for you to realize that now. Now you can't even afford to go out and eat fast food. Serves you right, Tom. You don't know how satisfying this is.
I've suffered enough, right? And I've apologized to you over and over. Please, can't you just give me something? Just some toast or even some fruit? Something other than cabbage. I don't care what you give me.
Yeah, I think you would be happy no matter what I gave you right now. But I've got a better idea. If you're hungry, why don't you go out and eat the grass on the side of the road outside? That way you won't have to pay a single cent. After that, my husband turned up at his parents' house and he got down on his knees and begged me for his forgiveness on their doorstep. However, I refused to forgive him for how arrogant he was, and I handed him the divorce papers right on the spot. My in-laws wouldn't forgive him either and refused to give him any food to eat. Instead, they chased him out of the house and told him to work things out on his own. All I can say is that I think he got what he deserved. By the way, I told him that I had resigned from my job, but that was actually a complete lie. I didn't give in my resignation, but I asked my manager if I could take a couple of weeks off work using the paid holidays that I had accumulated for this year. I used that time to slowly move my things out of the house Tom and I were living in, and now I've moved into another apartment, and I've gotten back to work. Once we were divorced, my ex-husband had a hard time paying for groceries, and he also started getting behind on paying the rent, and was eventually kicked out of the house. His family refused to help him, so now he's relying on his friends to let him stay on their couches for a few weeks at a time. And now, either because of his bad eating habits up until now, or because of the malnutrition he's suffered, it's not clear which is at fault, but he's now gotten sick and has been visiting the hospital on a regular basis. Apparently, his doctor has given him strict rules for what to eat and what not to eat, and he can no longer eat his favorite fast foods and cup noodles. Ever since divorcing my husband, no one has ever told me that my cooking tastes bad. If anything, I've gotten nothing but praise for how delicious my cooking is, and I've been asked for tips and hints on how to make certain recipes. It turns out I was right about that idiot's sense of taste being out of order. Now I'm free of him and his complaints. I've gotten a lot more confident about my cooking skills, and I'm having a lot more fun trying new recipes and cooking methods.